Okay, so picture this. Deep in southern India, there's a temple with over 30,000 sculptures. But this is way more than just a massive building. This is the Meenakshi Temple, and its walls tell the incredible story of a warrior queen, a wild prophecy, and a love that literally built a city. Let's get into it.
So I want you to hold on to that question, because the entire Meenakshi Temple complex, it's basically a celebration, a physical version of this divine love story. We're not just touring some old building, we're actually walking through a living legend.
So, where does a story like this even begin? Well, it doesn't start on a throne. It starts with a birth and a prophecy that would set the course for a queen's entire life.
Our hero here is the goddess Meenakshi, and her name alone kind of tells you part of the story. It comes from two words, Meena, which means fish, and Akshi, which means eyes. It's all about the beautiful, perfect, fish-like shape of her eyes, a really central part of who she is.
Now, the story goes that when she was born to the king and queen of Madurai, she arrived with something, well, unique. She had 3 breasts. And this wasn't just some random detail, it was the key to her entire destiny.
And the prophecy tied to it was just extraordinary. A divine voice told her parents not to worry because the moment she finally met the man she was destined to marry, her 3rd breast would just vanish. Her own body was like a map, pointing her straight to her future husband.
But Meenakshi was absolutely not the kind of princess who would just sit around and wait for some guy to show up. No way. She was a warrior. She decided she wasn't going to wait for destiny, she was going to go out and conquer.
So, after she takes the throne, she begins this relentless campaign of conquest. She leads her armies all over, taking over kingdom after kingdom. She was so successful that she eventually made it all the way to her final challenge, the Himalayas, the home of the gods themselves.
The gods couldn't defeat her, so they asked Lord Shiva for help. And when he appeared on the battlefield, in that exact moment, Meenakshi's 3rd breast disappeared. She knew instantly he was the one. Her conquest was over. Her destiny had arrived. So, what happens when an unstoppable warrior queen meets her divine soulmate? You get one of the most famous weddings in all of mythology, a union that would define the city of Madurai forever. Shiva came to Madurai as the handsome Sundareshwar for the epic wedding, known as the Tiru Kalyanam. Her brother, who was actually Lord Vishnu, gave the bride away. This whole thing is still celebrated every single year as this massive festival. And here's the really cool part. Even after marrying a god, Meenakshi stayed the main ruler. Sundareshwar was her consort.
A legendary couple like this needed a home, right? And that brings us to the absolutely incredible structure their story inspired. The temple we see today was basically built to be a divine palace for them.
To really get a sense of this place, just look at this number. The temple is home to more than 30,000 sculptures. I mean, every single surface is just teeming with gods, demons, animals, each one telling a story. It's just mind-boggling.
Okay, so the most famous things you'll see are these massive towers called gopurams. You've got 4 huge, 9-story ones, marking north, south, east, and west, with the southern one being the tallest. Then there are a bunch of smaller ones, and 2 absolutely stunning gold-covered towers called Vimanas, sitting right over the shrines of Meenakshi and Sundareshwar.
And the amazing stuff just keeps going once you get inside. There's the famous 1,000-pillar hall, which actually has 985 pillars. But what's totally wild is that every single one was carved from one solid piece of rock. Just think about that craftsmanship for a second. But this magnificent place wasn't just built and left alone. Oh no, its own history is just as dramatic as the legend of its goddess. It's a story about resilience, about total destruction, and an amazing rebirth.
So, the temple's roots go back over 1,400 years. But in the 14th century, a devastating invasion left it completely plundered and in ruins. For decades, it was basically abandoned. Then, around the 16th century, the Vijayanagar Empire started the huge job of rebuilding it, and by the 17th century, it was expanded into the incredible complex we know today.
This cycle of being destroyed and then rebuilt is what really shows you the temple's true power. It's more than just an old building. It's living proof of how faith can inspire people to not only rebuild, but to come back even stronger century after century.
And that really leaves you with a final thought. The story of Meenakshi is literally carved into these stones forever. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, how many other epic stories are just immortalized in the walls of ancient places around the world, just waiting for us to come and read them.